So yesterday's chapter was very reflective, with how, during his drawing, some thinking about who could be the magpie. Now on to chapter 26 of The Highland Falcon Thief by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. Chapter 26, Sound and Vision. Mr. White, could I talk to you? Hal had been waiting for Ernest to get back on the train. Of course, Harrison. How can I help? You know the recordings you make with your microphone in the dining car? Have you listened to any of them? A few. Ernest gave him a watery-eyed smile, and the Highland Falcon sounds tremendous. The guard's whistle signalled that all the guests were aboard and the dining car's doors were closed. Do you know, every time I hear a train whistle, I think of the Prince's father. Really? I wanted to ask you, when he was 5, the Highland Falcon was at Wolferton Station in Norfolk, and the Prince was seeing off Queen Mary, his great-grandmother. That's interesting. I was wondering... He asked the guard if he could look at the whistle, and as soon as he was given it, the rascal gave it a blow, and the train set off by mistake. The poor guard had to run and jump on the moving train, and he never got his whistle back. Ernest chuckled. Little rapscallion. Your recorder, pressed Hal. Is it running all the time? I have 2 machines. I swap them over every 6 hours. I have listens and enter the date and time in my book and which part of the route and recording is from. If you come to my room, I'll show you. Ernest walked briskly in front of him. Hal noticed that despite his years, the old train manager had impressive rail legs. His body swayed with the motion of the train. Have you noticed your microphone picking up conversations in the dining car? That's not my intention, said Ernest sternly. The microphone is placed outside the window, but some people are horrendously loud. Like Mr. Pickle? Hal grinned. Yes, the bilious baboon has ruined the sound of steam pushing pistons on a number of occasions. Ernest rolled his eyes. He complains loudly, and he boasts about Greylax trying to get people to invest in his awful company. He lowered his voice. When he told Lady Lansbury and then the Baron that he was having cash flow problems, it was hard not to smile. I thought he was rich. Rich people can have money troubles too, you know. They'd reached Ernest's compartment, and the old man entered and sat on the sofa. I miss my old place in the service car, you know. It wasn't much, but it suited me. I was hoping you might have heard something on your recorder that would help clear Lenny and Mr. Singh. A clue, maybe? I don't think so. Ernest pointed to a small black book on his desk. This is where I write everything down. You can borrow it if you like. You're welcome to listen to the recordings, but it would take days. Hal picked up the book and opened it. Each page was divided into 4 columns: date, time, route, and notes. Have you heard anything that Lady Lansbury's gentleman-in-waiting has said? Hal asked. You can hear Lady Lansbury talking to him twice, but Mr. Buck is too quiet. I must say, for a woman of such high standing, she uses some ripe language to describe those dogs of hers. Thanks, Mr. White. You've been a great help, Hal said. Anything to help Mohanjit. He's an honourable man, Ernest said. He pointed at the black book. I'll be wanting that back. It contains precious information. I promise to take good care of it. Hal went to the door. I don't suppose you know where Isaac went? I believe Mr. Adebayo returned to the compartment for batteries. On his way to Isaac's compartment, Hal thought he heard the sound of a dog whining and stopped to listen. He realised it was actually a woman crying. The sobs were coming from the bathroom at the end of the corridor. He wondered if he should knock, but decided it was best not to intrude and hurried past. Isaac's door was open. He greeted Hal with a smile. Harrison Beck, he said. Come in. You're just the man I wanted to see. Glossy pictures were attached by bulldog clips to strings zig-zagging across his room. Hal spotted one of himself glaring at Mr. Pickle. Sorry about the mess, Isaac said, gathering a bundle of old photographs from the floor and handing them to Hal. Could you take these to your uncle? He asked me to dig out a few historic pictures of the Royal Train for his article. That top one is for you. Hal took the bundle and looked at a black and white photo of a group of people standing in front of the Highland Falcon at Baleta Station. It's from a royal Christmas nearly 20 years ago, Isaac said. A young Ernest White stood proudly at the picture's edge in the uniform Gordon Gould now wore. Next to him was Gladys from Balmoral, and in the middle, a boy about Hal's age stood smiling at his grandmother, the Queen. "It's the Prince wearing my awful itchy blazer and bow tie," Isaac laughed. "Not only must you suffer the indignity of wearing another man's clothes, but fashion that is 20 years out of date." "Is that Lady Lansbury?" "And her husband, the Count," said Isaac. "That's Beatrice and Terence, their children," he tutted. It was said that when the Count of Arundel died, the family fell apart. What happened? The Count lived life to excess, throwing lavish parties whenever he could. His children were the same. He pursed his lips, choosing his words carefully. "They broke some laws and are now paying for their crimes." "Poor Lady Lansbury." "She's made of strong stuff, that woman. A tsunami couldn't knock her over. Anyway, tell your uncle if he needs more pictures. I have plenty." "I had a question about that Atlas diamond," Hal said. "Do you have pictures of the real one and the fake one? I thought I might be able to spot the difference, work out when the switch happened." "The police had the same idea." Isaac shook his head. "Whoever made the fake was an artist. They really know their stuff." Isaac opened his laptop, revealing a grid of images. "I'm not sure there's anything to find, but here, take a look." Hal clicked on a picture of himself getting out of the black car outside Balmoral and enlarged it. He scrolled through the images quickly, stopping when he found the first picture of the princess. She had a hand on Sierra's shoulder, the two of them laughing at the excitement of the Samoyeds. The Atlas diamond was splitting light and scattering rainbows. Hal flipped further ahead to a shot of the royal couple coming into lunch, to another of them getting into their car, boarding the train, greeting the crowds at Aberdeen. But Isaac was right. Nothing he saw seemed suspicious, and the necklace looked the same in every single picture. Well, that's chapter 26. We're getting near the end now. I wonder if anyone has worked out who can the magpie be. I don't have a clue at the moment.